Hello again, everyone. This is Bionic Slime. I'm your online voice for reviews of your choice, and this is another installment of BS Reviews. Today, I will be reviewing the dark, epic, bloody vampire anime series known as Hellsing. The anime series Hellsing is based, as if in case you didn't already notice, off of several characters from Bram Stoker's original novel Dracula. It has no real connection to the novel really, but it does take a couple of characters like the Hellsing family and the name Alucard, aka Dracula, backwards. Hellsing is brought to you by originally Pioneer, now Genion. The original manga was directed by Kuta Hirano, and it was animated by Tomoaki Kado and Toshiharu Murata, and stars the vocal talent of Crispin Freeman as Alucard, K.T. Gray as Ceres Victoria, Victoria Harwood as Sir Integra Wingate's Hellsing, Ralph Lister as Walter, Stephen Brand as Paladin Alexander Anderson, Bill Morgan as Peter Ferguson, and Isaac C. Singleton Jr. as Incognito. The plot of Hellsing. Hellsing takes place in London, where a secret organization known as the Hellsing Organization, led by Integra Hellsing, has been used to silence vampires in London in secrecy, similar to Men in Black, for many years now, and it has only been run by the Hellsing family, who has sworn their entire bloodline to destroying vampires. Their lead agent in destroying vampires is, ironically, a vampire named Alucard, whose powers seem virtually unlimitless, as is his lust for blood, carnage, and destroying the false vampires that they're battling, known as freak vampires or chip vampires. However, things get a little complicated when, during one particular mission, a young girl known as Ceres Victoria, a cop, goes out on a mission and is accidentally caught by a vampire. Alucard is forced to shoot her through the chest after making a deal with her, saying that it was her choice to die or to become a vampire. So she chose to become a vampire, and Alucard makes her a member of the Hellsing organization. She must now work with her new master to battle against the forces of darkness that plague London, as well as a strange, mysterious new mutant vampire known as Incognito, as well as other organizations posed to destroy vampires like Alucard, such as the Iscariot organization with their own personal weapon, Paladin Alexander. Review the plot. I really find animes that focus in other areas other than Japan very interesting, and Hellsing is certainly no exception because everyone here is pretty much strictly American or English or whatever you want to call it, and it's just a really neat thing to see just some non-Japanese people in an anime made from Japan. I mean, it's kind of funny that an English story with English characters or so are being based in Japan. And I find it interesting because I like shows that involve extermination teams, is the best way to put them. You know, an organization that's bent on destroying creatures or ghosts or aliens or something like that, like Men in Black, Ghostbusters, where here it's more with vampires. And it really makes it even more amusing that they have an actual vampire leading them as they're killing off other vampires. I thought that was very interesting. But probably the most interesting part about this show is that while everyone's absolutely gaga-eyed over just how badass and awesome and creepy and just psychotic Alucard is, a big chunk of the story really helps in terms of interests with Ceres Victoria, who you go step by step in her life as she adapts to this new lifestyle. This is a really interesting way to get people into it because you're taking the journey with this character from the very beginning, and you, along with her, are going through the strides of what it takes from becoming a human to a vampire. It's a great trick to get people involved into the story, and especially when you have a character like Ceres Victoria, who's in fact much more docile and soft spoken than the bloodthirsty vampire master who made her. Just give a nice foil to the show. It has a lot of dark secrets, a lot of extreme violence, and I like the twisted, dark, ominous feeling that the storyline has. I mean, it definitely stays true to a vampire lore in terms of themes and messages. So I really commend them for keeping vampirism straight. And none of this Twilight stuff, none of this changing the rules around for sunlight and that. They give us straight, hardcore, dark, badass vampires, which is something we don't get enough of these days, in my opinion. Review the characters. As I said before, the characters are what absolutely just drive you nuts, particularly Alucard. He's probably one of the greatest anime badasses ever drawn. I mean, his outfit, his attitude, and above all else, his voice. Crispin Freeman does a magnificent job. He just drips with evil egotism and just sadistic nature. It just rolls off his tongue so easily and just makes the character a perfect match with that dark brooding voice. KT Gray is good as Ceres Victoria. She gives a very very appropriate voice to this character. I mean, she fits it to a T. You can feel what she's feeling, you can sense what she's saying. She almost seems alien to this whole world, and it really helps with KT Gray's performance as Ceres Victoria. She lives up to the docile nature that Victoria displays in the show. It's always nice just to have a voice actor who can perfectly fit in with the character and not just seem like another voice. Victoria Harwood was excellent as Integra. I mean, this is not much of a woman's woman. She's a very hard, stern, controlling person who just really got down the bossiness and the pride of the Wingate's Hellsing family. I really am impressed at how Integra commands respect with her appearance and just her voice. She just screams out control, and it's very cool to have a female character prove to be that powerful, especially when you're comparing her to a uber badass vampire. I like Stephen Brand as Paladin Alexander. He had a really great accent to go with the character, and he just made him a lot more fun to watch. Ralph Lister was excellent as Walter, who I swear to God looks exactly like Alfred, the original Alfred from the Batman movies in animated form. And all the other vampires, the bad guys, like Josh Phillips as Jan Valentine, really, really good. I loved Isaac C. Singleton Jr.'s Incognito. He's got a real dark, evil voice. Just some really good voice actors. Review the animation and the music. Both of these points are above all else the main reason to watch this show, because if there's one area that Hellsing shines in, it can't be just one. It has to be two, and that's music and animation. The animation is absolutely flawless. It's beautiful, it's dark, it's breathtakingly extreme and deep. It has such a magnificent flair for violence and just really fluid animation. I mean, it's very colorful for a very dark show. I mean, it's very dark and bloody and violent, but they keep it very colorful with the characters' outfits and just the smoothness of the animation. And it looks so perfect when you see how it blends with Alucard's bizarre transformations when he battles. The music is absolutely freaking awesome. It's got such a very neat, jazzy, weird tune to it, very dark, very, bebop kind of thing. It really gets you in the mood. I mean, the music is so captivating. I love the soundtrack to the show. It's so good. It's so appropriate. I mean, it fits so nicely into the weird, dark world that you're going with all these vampires. The opening and ending theme songs, oh, I can never get tired of either one of them. They were so good, and they worked so beautifully in English. So, I mean, you really could not find a better anime soundtrack. Well, maybe Fully Cooley with the Pillows, but flaws about the series. Unfortunately, Hellsing is suffering from one major flaw, one that really it's a big ass flaw, and that's the ending. Hellsing ends rather abruptly, and they unfortunately do not have the time to really properly tie up the storyline. Some people have debated what the real reason it was. Some people say the manga story is actually like that, and it's supposed to be that short. Other people say that they ran out of money during the show, and they couldn't make enough episodes to really finish the storyline. Either way, this just looks really bad. The ending is just a real big kick in the balls, and it's unfortunate because this is such a fantastic show and had everything going for it, and then they just crap up the whole ending by rushing it way too soon and just not finishing up. That's the only real thing I have a complaint with this show, and they may not make it seem like it's a bad thing, but when you have a flaw as big as this, it's really a lot worse than you think. Final wrap up. Hellsing is one of the premier anime shows, and it's one of the best ones in my opinion out there. I don't give a shit about the Hellsing Ultimate because to me, this one was just always superior in every way in terms of the design, the characters, the colors, the animation, the story. It just really worked so well. You got an excellent cast of great characters. Crispin Freeman, KT Gray, perfect as Victoria and Alucard. You have some really cool vampire villains. The music was flawless and perfect. Animation was beautifully intense and gory and dark. The ending really blows because it just hurries so much perfection into a shitty ass cramped up little ending. But other than that, this show is definitely worth buying, in my opinion. And while the ending does make you feel very frustrated and pissed off, it's just too fantastic of a show, in my opinion, to skip out on. Bottom line, I give Hellsing 4 stars out of 5 stars. Well, that's all for now. This has been Bionic Slime for BS Reviews. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye for now.